Hey everyone, Joe here from the Smart Workshop. In the last video, I talked about when self-hosted AI makes sense and, just as importantly, when it doesn't. So today we're answering the next obvious question. What hardware should you actually run local AI on? So today, specifically, I'm comparing a Mac Mini M4, Mac Studio M1 Max with much more memory, a typical ARM single board computer like an Orange Pi 5 Pro running a Docker-based stack. This is not a benchmark video. This is a usability video. Let me make that very clear from the get-go here. Before we get into numbers, I want to be clear about something. This is not an apples to apples comparison at all, and that's intentional. Each platform is being used the way it actually was meant to be used. Mac Minis and Mac Studios, they all run Ollama and LM Studio natively on Mac OS with great hardware metal acceleration. ARM SBCs, they run everything in Docker, CPU only for these particular workloads. Because comparing best practice to best practice tells you far more than forcing like artificial parity. So let's quickly define our three setups here. We have a Mac Mini M4 with 16 gigs of unified memory. We have a Mac Studio M1 Max with 32 gigs of unified memory and metal acceleration, native Ollama and native LM Studio runtimes. This is a pretty consumer-friendly path to local AI. And our third setup is an ARM SBC, which is an Orange Pi 5 Pro class system with an ARM CPU, limited memory bandwidth, unfortunately no usable GPU or NPU acceleration. This is all Dockerized, I love Docker containers. So this is a Homelab first path. Both are valid, just very different. Here's the key reason that our Macs in this setup work so well for local AI. It's all about that unified memory architecture. Apple Silicon gives you high bandwidth unified memory and a GPU that is right next to that memory without having to page memory across to separate system RAM. You also have a software stack that actually natively supports it. And when that model fits fully in memory, it's pretty fast. Token generation is pretty quick and latency stays pretty predictable. This is not like at all about raw processor speed by any stretch. It's about keeping the model where it needs to live, which is in GPU memory. On the ARM SBC side, the problem isn't that the CPU is weak at all. It's that the GPU is not accessible for LLMs. Nobody's really bothering to make hardware acceleration for these smaller boards for LLMs. And same with the NPU. You just can't reach it for this type of acceleration. So everything runs on the CPU cores. And your memory bandwidth is much more limited in compared to our Mac models here. So even small models, they take longer to start responding. Their token generation per second is pretty low. And of course, they're competing with anything else that might be running on that system as well. But you can absolutely run models on that SBC. Certain workloads that are less time sensitive and just need to chew on background tasks, they'll actually do pretty well in that. Now let's talk about the real trade-offs. In our Mac systems, obviously they cost more. They use a bit more power, although overall they're pretty efficient, especially compared with like discrete GPUs, but the usability is there. Like as soon as you start using one, you're getting fast responses back from your local models. On the SBC side, they're very power efficient, but it's going to require some patience to get responses back and definitely compromises in model sizes and overall intelligence. So obviously in this case, the Mac wins. Okay. However, again, for background tasks, our SBCs still have a role. If you want interactive local AI, RAG workflows, something you'll actually use every day and converse with in real time, your selections in Macs are going to be the hardware that makes the most sense. If augmenting that, you also have a need for low power, kind of more experimental workflows, something that does like text embedding for vector DB. You can offload that to your ARM systems, absolutely, and keep your high-powered systems completely free for every ounce of memory that you can possibly eke out of them for those larger models. So in the next video, we're gonna stop talking theory and we're gonna start building. We're gonna create a private knowledge base. We're gonna ingest real documents, and we're gonna compare how these two platforms handle that same workload. Same data, same questions, very different hardware. But what's the experience? If you're running a home lab and you're just curious about local AI, you're not gonna wanna miss that. Hey, if this helped, give me a thumbs up. If you're not already, please subscribe. I'm Joe from the Smart Workshop, and I'll see you in the next one.